have one, brother.
Okay. All right. Brother?
You don't have any yet,
You're
but right
just being
now we're
detained,
running you
sir.
through multiple federal databases.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody's coming up with your name. You also coming back on a terror watch list. So we're going to secure you for our protection and yours. We're going to put you in the back of a police car.
Where's that weapon at, sir?
It's on my right side, brother.
Make sure I got his.
This is yours?
What's up guys, Enigma here, and I'm a qualified body language analyst. And today we're going to be looking at this really interesting video of an FBI agent being arrested by the police only for them to find out that he's legit and release him. But there's far more to it than meets the eye. The FBI agent is actually investigating the police department, and he deliberately provokes the situation and manipulates the officers into exposing their malpractice. So let's take a look.
Okay, that's awesome.
Okay.
That'll work.
Did you run your body cam?
I am now, because I don't know how legit you are at the moment.
It's okay. Special Agent Haddon. The FBI.
Okay.
You got that on body cam?
I do, but I don't understand what the problem is. Would you meet me at the office?
I'll talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. You can cut off the recording device now.
Okay. Well, I will when I leave the area, sir. Yeah, he told me to turn my body camera off because he didn't want that running. And so now he's still here. He's looking at me.
Franklin 33 at 4 to 28 Lincoln.
I do feel like I'm being detained. Am I being detained?
Am I being detained? You're the one who called me here, sir. How did you get my phone number?
I can't give you that information.
I ain't saying he can't tell me how he got my information. Hey, you are detained at this time, sir. 33 Franklin. I got one Whiskey Mike detained at this time. Hey, I don't think this guy's legit, man.
I need to take my weapon off, okay?
26 Franklin.
I'm not going to put you in cuffs.
Putting the narrative for this call. That
Where's it
subject
at?
he's got detained,
Okay.
I've got my
claiming
weapon
to
on
be a
my right.
federal agent.
You do got, is it on, do I have permission to take it off?
No, you
of
don't have permission
Okay,
to take it
just
off.
hang tight right here. I'm not cuffing you. I'm not cuffing you.
The FBI agent asks the officer to turn off the body cam as he's doing a mission and likely doesn't want this being recorded. He then gets out of the car and puts his hands up, being completely cooperative. And I would say even too cooperative. He also tells the officer where his firearm is. However, you can see in his face that he's experiencing significant levels of stress, but he's holding it back. He does two key things here. He opens his mouth and then he tenses his mouth. This is called a suppression of speech. He wants to say something, but holds his tongue, likely due to his training in dealing with situations just like this. His mind is racing and he opens his mouth to speak, but his rational mind takes over and stops him. He then tenses his mouth rather noticeably. This is because his limbic system is filling his body with adrenaline and increases his heart rate. The limbic system links intellectual functions of the cerebral cortex with the unconscious autonomic functions of the brainstem. His muscles tense up as a result of the stress, which is why he pulls a funny face when trying to stop himself from speaking.
But you're being very uncooperative with me. You asked me to come up here. You called my personal cell phone number. You can't tell me how you got it. Your vehicle's coming back to a wiring company, not the
It's
FBI.
a covert vehicle.
Okay. You
Would
get
you
mad.
like to see some registration?
You get mad at me because I turned my body camera on,
Would you like to see some registration?
and you know a lot of stuff about me.
Would you like to see the registration, sir?
I don't really want anything from you at this point. My supervisor's on the way.
Excellent.
Do you have identification?
I surely do. I showed it to him. Would you like to see it, sir?
You don't have to keep your hands up. I'm just
I
trying to
don't want
figure
to
out
be
what's
shot
going on.
out here.
I don't want to be shot either.
I'm going to call my office.
Yes, sir.
Bye, Jim. Jacksonville, this is Special Agent Haddon.
It is very obvious that the FBI agent is deliberately holding his hands up for the camera to show viewers that he's being totally cooperative. Notice how he doesn't argue at all with the officer. He doesn't even disagree with him. He may look stressed, as anyone would be in this situation, but he's playing a game. He's trying to expose the malpractice of the officer in question, as he is the one who's actually being investigated. He holds his hands up saying that he fears being shot, but then instantly goes into the car to grab his documents. No one would make super sudden movements like that if they feared for their lives, and this shows us that he's doing it for show. To give you some context, he's trying to question the officer about potential corruption within the department. It all starts when a lady accidentally hit another car and drove off unintentionally because she didn't think that there was any damage to the car she hit. The owner of the other vehicle filed a complaint for hit and run, and the cops gave her a ticket for driving off at the scene of an accident, which is a crime. However, when the lady received the ticket, she contacted the other party and paid for all the damages she caused. She also contacted the sheriff's office and told them her side of the story, and that she didn't actually mean to drive off. Instead of the officer legally filing the ticket and then dismissing the case the proper way, he deliberately didn't file the ticket into the system, and as a result, hid it from public view, so there's no record of it ever happening. Which raised serious questions, because if they did this once, they could do it again for other cases, which is why the FBI agent is investigating him.
33 Franklin, just 43. This individual's saying his name is Special Agent Haddon out of Jacksonville from the FBI. He keeps getting on his radio, but I do not hear any traffic coming back from the other end.
Be advised that comes back to Advanced Wiring Company out of Jacksonville.
I believe I need to have a supervisor.
10-4. He's saying that this is coming back to that because it's a covert vehicle.
I'm not detained, but they're indicated.
Do you have a
I'm not
driver's
gonna show
license
you
on you,
my
sir?
driver's license. You don't need
He's
to know where I
refusing to
live.
give his 27 at this time, Franklin.
Police can only ask for an ID card if there is a reasonable suspicion that the person has committed a crime. He hasn't told the agent what he's been detained for, other than because he appears suspicious, which isn't a crime. He has also shown him his FBI ID card and literally has a radio in his car. He's being completely cooperative the whole time. The agent told the officer exactly who he was, showed credentials, was incredibly calm and respectful, and answered every question that he had. What more could this cop possibly want? He has unlawfully detained him due to his own paranoia, and that's exactly what the FBI agent wanted to expose. It's malpractice.
So you're forcing me to give you my driver's license?
That's what my captain just asked me to get it from you.
We need to find out who he is.
Yeah, there you go.
He could just be somebody who's
The body camera's
trained
still
at
running.
FBI.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And something more to him.
This subject's being very uncooperative, Franklin. 12, he's refusing to give
What am I
any
being
information.
detained for, officer?
For the supervisor to come speak to you.
For a supervisor to come speak to me.
10-4, that's on
I showed him badge and credentials. He's got his body camera going.
I'm 51 to 33 location now.
So, I don't know what to tell. I'm in Carabel. I gave him my 1027 Southeast Avenue. Sir, I can't discuss it with you. I was here to discuss that with him.
Well, I'm here backing him up.
I know you are. I know you are.
The agent clarifies that the cop is forcing him to give him his driver's license, as he has no right to demand it. But he complies as he wants to be completely cooperative to ensure that the officer is shown to be in the wrong, and not him. The officer keeps reiterating the point that the agent is being uncooperative, despite him doing everything that he was asked with no complaints. The body language the agent gives off here is incredibly closed. He does what's commonly referred to as a self-hug. He folds his arms tightly, which comes under the category of a pacifying behavior. He wraps his arms around his torso to maximize touch, and this provides him with a feeling of security and gives him a confidence boost, which shows us that he's feeling threatened and stressed by the situation, likely because his investigation is being jeopardized.
He didn't tell me not to. He told me that you needed to set this up through the officer, and you refused to do that and acted like it was a problem.
I said I'd have the U.S. Attorney's Office contact you.
Right.
53 out at all.
I never asked for your weapon, sir. You told me you had one on you.
You said you wanted to take it off of me, didn't you, sir?
I asked you for permission once. You said that you had one. I never asked you.
35, I'm
I got you.
1097.
Right.
So anyway, Larry, so the deputy gets out of the car, goes to the car, gets in it. I guess he calls his supervisor. His supervisor says that this is not the place to interview him, that I have to arrange it through their office.
But
Sorry, I'm going, brother.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
all right, just being detained.
What's the charge, brother?
You don't have any yet,
You're
but right
just being
now we're
detained,
running you
sir.
through multiple federal databases.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody's coming up with your name. You also coming back on a terror watch list. So we're going to secure you for our protection and yours. We're going to put you in the back of a police car.
Where's that weapon at, sir?
It's on my right side, brother.
The agent asks why he's being detained, as legally they're required to tell him what he's being detained for. They can only detain him if they suspect him of committing a specific crime. Again, the agent has exposed on camera another malpractice of the police department. This reference to him being on some form of terror watch list came out of nowhere, and during my research of this case, I could find no reference to it. They may have made it up as an excuse to detain him. I don't really know. But it's safe to say that someone on a terror watch list wouldn't be allowed to join the FBI as an agent.
Yeah, we're just trying to verify you.
But since you don't want to give us no info for nobody to contact,
That's just the wallet that
I
you
can
were
tell
showing
you
me a
one
while
thing.
ago.
Yeah, that's my one. Don't touch that thing right there. That's my law enforcement. It's got all my notes on it for what I've done today. You're not allowed to see that.
I'm not allowed to see what? Well, if
I
you
know.
go to jail, I'm going to impound this to the sheriff's office. I'm going to get a search warrant. I'm going to touch everything.
Good.
All right?
He's
What's your
clear.
name again, brother?
My name's Sergeant
clear.
Carroll.
Okay.
And that jacket.
10-4 Tiffany's going to transfer it to you, sir.
33 Franklin. We've detained this Whiskey Mike and got him in cuffs in the back of the car now.
FBI agents are incredibly well trained, and this man is giving the police department rope to hang themselves with at every opportunity. He tells them specifically not to touch the notebook with the hopes that they will, which would be illegal. They don't bite the bait this time, but they do many other times. Again, he's being totally cooperative and doesn't complain about anything at all. He remains professional despite being under a lot of stress.
You haven't cooperated with anything we've done.
What's that gentleman's name you got detained?
It's going to be Alexis Hatton. Alexis Hatton.
Do you have your body camera on still, brother?
Absolutely, it ain't going off.
Thank you, brother. Look, I'm begging for you. Turn the air. You're burning me up, brother.
I had the defroster on.
No, you didn't. Brother, I need air. God almighty.
5 to 33.
I know you think this is funny, but it won't be funny after today.
33, go ahead.
I'm on the
So they just said,
10-4.
all right, that's what I'm doing right now. They just called back.
So
Sheriff
y'all
said
gonna
he
go
is
ahead and let him
legit.
go?
What's he doing here?
He is legit.
Who did
10-4-5. I'm gonna
Who just called?
handcuff him now. Captain Webb just called.
Who
10-4.
verified?
Captain Webb. I don't know who. 33 to 5. Could you advise me who verified that this person was legit?
The agent keeps asking if he has the body camera on. This is deliberate. He wants to make sure that the police officer records his own malpractice, which is super clever of him. He knows that he's been unlawfully detained, and I heavily suspect that he's putting this on just to see their reaction. He's only just been placed inside the police car, and the air conditioning appears to be on, so I really do doubt that he would be suffering from heat stroke that quickly, which is what he appears to show symptoms of. Heat stroke typically takes 10 to 15 minutes to kick in, and that's in blistering heat, so I'm not sure about this one. It could be the agent trying to manipulate the officers into exposing their malpractice, which he has already done.
What's he doing? He called me here, Sheriff, and says he called my personal cell phone, and he goes, I don't know. He refuses to tell me.
Okay.
He said I need to
10 to 5, what's your
discuss some things that's happened in the Carabel
His
area.
name is Lawrence Lynn. and he's down in this area
I said,
on an
I
assignment.
said, okay.
He's out of Lawrence Lee, he's out of Tallahassee on the FBI.
He said, do you mind me
And that's 10-4.
sitting in my car with me real quick? He showed me, he flipped open his
10-4, just making
wallet
sure we have
and
it right.
showed credentials. It didn't show he didn't show a badge, but showed FBI in his name. So I came in there and he goes, I need to discuss a ticket on a Maryland Bing that you wrote, which is a ticket that I wrote, but I actually rescinded it. I said, okay. I said, do you mind if I go pull it up on my CAD so I can recall what's going on here, because I know you can't tell me about it and I want to get it right. So I went in there. At the same time I'm pulling up the report, I called TJ. I said, hey, is this, should I be getting interviewed on the side of the road, or should he be doing something else? And TJ says he needs to go through front office and set up an interview time. Well, as soon as I told the gentleman that you need to set up an interview time, he goes, that's all right. I'm just going to call the state attorney on your, he called the U.S. attorney on you. So then I activated my body camera. I didn't have it on the whole time. Because
The sheriff has his hands folded over his groin area. Typically, when people cross their hands over the front of the groin area, they are often experiencing feelings of insecurity and nervousness. This is an instinctual display of body language. Clearly, the sheriff feels very insecure and concerned and alarmed at the whole situation. He then moves his arms into the folded position and even rubs his hands on his arm. And as we know, this is another pacifying behavior. He's incredibly stressed by what's going on.
all right, sir.
Call 911. I need a medical attention right now. Unlock me. Call 911. Call 911.
We're releasing you right
no,
now,
call
sir.
911 now. Call 911. I need
33.
medical attention.
33.
I'm sitting there begging you to cut off your
We're
freaking heat.
He's requesting EMS to respond at this time.
Where's my gun and all that stuff?
Yeah, security vehicle, I'm about to get it for you.
Franklin to 33, can you give me an exact address?
We're at the new substation for the sheriff's office, Franklin.
Jacksonville, I need 911. I've asked for help. I've been in a car. They've had me smoking in the back.
10-4, can you advise if it's next door to the new dollar store?
That's 10-4. Can you verify that my AC's on real quick, John?
It's on now.
It was on when. How could I not touch? How could I not touch it?
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
911. I asked for the sheriffs to call 911. They won't. They
Is
won't
it not
call
going
from
through
there.
the back seat?
Yeah. I would guess my window is open back there.
Yeah, but we need a location, sir. 710 South East Avenue. Does anybody have water?
I've got some water in here. That's a sealed water, sir.
Franklin, I'm back in here.
Did they ever say they got EMS on the way? He's requesting EMS.
I think so. Make sure.
33 Franklin, could you advise that you've contacted EMS?
He just called us and asked us to call 911. He said that the sheriffs are refusing to call for medical help for him, but he didn't give us any further details.
He's been like this the whole time. That's why I didn't feel like he was legit.
You let him know EMS is en route?
Yeah, they're on. He heard me call on the radio. Ambulance is about 10 minutes away, sir.
Once they realize that he's actually an FBI agent, the officer desperately tries to justify himself, despite illegally detaining him and not telling him what he's being accused of when he asks. This was the FBI agent's mission, to expose corruption and malpractice, and he played everything perfectly and highlighted numerous failures in the police department. Potentially the entire thing was orchestrated by the agent, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a long story. So he called me on my phone to meet with me about a matter.
Magically got your number.
And he was questioning me on a ticket that I wrote. Said he worked for another agency, which turns out to be legit, but at the time we didn't know. So I called my supervisor here. Decision was made to detain him while we were checking his legitimacy. Yeah. And we put him in the back. And after that, he started complaining of shortness of breath, vision loss, and whatever else he's got going on. That's up. And he claims I had the heat on in the car. But I don't.
There we go. Stretch it right in front. Stop on.
Make sure I got his.
This is yours?
I don't know what you're talking about. Get him whatever's mine, my gun and stuff.
You got your wallet in your pocket? You said it's a federal FBI?
Yeah, I do have his.
Someone will have to secure that weapon.
That's his phone. Splitting headache.
What's y'all's
Glasses
unit?
in his jacket.
Yeah, I called you as soon as I went to go print it out, and I'm like, this don't really feel right getting interviewed on the side of the road. Supervisor hadn't told me about it. Let me call a supervisor and see, can he do this? I'm fine with it if he can, but I wanted to let somebody know, hey, somebody's interviewing me about a ticket. The ticket he wanted to question me about, I dropped.
Who was it on?
On a Maryland Beam. I had originally wrote a ticket on her.
What was the charge?
It was a ticket for hit and run. But I determined, I felt like that she really didn't do it on purpose as far as leaving the scene. So I took the ticket back. And she didn't even get the ticket.
That's weird.
But
Again, this cop desperately tries to justify his actions despite them being totally improper. You can't decide to detain someone and infringe their rights just because they got your phone number. There are laws for a reason, and if the police are unable to follow them, then how can they expect civilians to follow them? That's what the entire investigation is about. It's about police cutting corners and doing things they're not supposed to. This cop deliberately cut corners to make his life easier, taking the law into his own hands, and allegedly this wasn't the first time it had happened. Also, notice how the other cop tells him to turn his body camera off after the agent leaves. It's kind of suspicious. After this incident, there was an inquiry that investigated the malpractice of the officer in the failing to file the ticket. A police spokesman said that the officer's handling of the ticket fell into an illegal grey area, saying, quote, "He said it's not a violation, but it's probably a better practice just to let the state attorney dismiss the case, which we ultimately did." Unquote. I haven't found out anything about the FBI agent, and this was likely swept under the rug, but it's really cool to see how an FBI agent handles a situation like this. As I said before, they are very well trained and they know exactly what they're doing, and I think he was in control of the situation the entire time. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.